quirky curiosities.
If someone comes in and says, "What's your poison?" you go, "Well, I've got quite a selection of..."
Drew's intoxicated by the decor.
It's like as if the inside of my brain designed a pub.
When exploring a Grade 2 listed estate,
What a pad. Wow.
Drew stumbles on a tidy pile of salvage.
Oh, wow, there you go. Look at this lot. Gold dust. This is your money right here.
And at a 20th century vintage boutique,
Wow. This is great. Guys, this is really good.
Drew can't resist some old-fashioned haggling.
About 130 on that one.
I think I'd be happy at sort of 80 quid, really.
Drew Pritchard is one of Britain's leading decorative salvage dealers. Country in search of weird and wonderful objects.
I just love it. Oh, yeah. That's a belter, isn't it? What is this? Wonderful. It's lovely.
In his hunt for treasure,
I was thinking 400 to 500 quid each.
he bargains hard.
Can we meet in the middle, 275?
And there's nothing he won't buy.
Ugly old men sell really well.
With help from his wife Rebecca
He's all yours. I hope you've got a nice little kennel for him.
and a team of renovators, he transforms thousands of items from junk to gems.
Hello, Drew Pritchard.
At Drew Pritchard's base in Conwy, North Wales, the antique expert's latest salvage haul receives a new lease of life. Get maximum exposure.
That is the coolest desk ever. That's the firing people desk, isn't it? It's the Victorian firing desk. The shot of the top and the steel. But also, there's the name there, so if you're able to get that in one. All yours. Make it look beautiful. I need nearly £4,000 for this.
The boys are in for a real treat today. They're off to explore a unique collection of antiques and curiosities 250 miles away in Hampshire. And it's in one of their favourite settings.
Going to the Black Boy pub in Winchester, okay? It's owned by a guy called Dave, and he has done it up, the interior, with...
The ancient capital of England, Winchester was the seat of King Alfred the Great of Wessex, who successfully halted the advance of the Vikings and paved the way for the unification of the country. Just outside the city centre is the Grade 2 listed 18th century building that houses the Black Boy pub, bought by David Nicholson 10 years ago.
I started sort of collecting and filling with stuff right from day one. I didn't like that you'd walk into a pub, the door would squeak open and everyone would turn around and stare at you. And I wanted it to be that you had masses of stuff to look at. So you'd never feel out of place, you'd never feel bored, because there was always something you hadn't seen. And I used to go around to all the auctions.
The pub is now so full that David wants to offload some items to make room for more.
I try to buy stuff that was a good example of what it was in its day. The amount of work and passion that have gone into these things originally, I just find it incredible, the detail that they use that you can't get nowadays.
Here we go. Last one to the bar. Buys the antiques. David.
It is indeed, Drew.
Nice to meet you. How are you?
Nice to meet you. Nice
Hi.
to meet you.
I'm T. How you
So,
doing?
David, hi. Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much for having us.
Absolute pleasure.
We couldn't wait to get here, could we? We're no stranger to pubs.
Couldn't
You
possibly.
can see why now as well. It looks amazing in here. I love it.
Well, there's plenty of stuff to look around at.
It's like as if the inside of my brain designed a pub.
It's got to be quite a big brain then.
It's great. Love it. Look at all this stuff.
Those are great. Those are from... Actually, I went up to the Railway Museum to get those.
Oh, they're for the...
They're the.
they're for hanging on in the tube.
I think it's from the Northern Line, and they were just fantastic.
Look at that.
11, that one, isn't it?
First impressions coming into the pub is I've fallen in love with it straight away. It's just perfect. This is what all pubs should be like. Expectations today are pretty high. Somebody who's buying the type of thing that I like, and it's rammed, so it could be good. This I love. This is great. Tell me about this. Did you buy this with all these in it?
Closed down the science lab. He took all the bottles home, which you could do in those days.
You can actually do when someone comes in and says, "What's your poison?" You go, "Well, quite a
There are
selection of
plenty in
poison."
there, but they're just such beautiful.
It's the only pub in Britain that'll kill you.
Well, it's not though.
That's great. Yeah, it's just good objects. You always have a pub bore as well.
Too many of those.
He just doesn't give a monkey's. He's done exactly what he wants to do. If he wants to put a plane or some spears or a toilet with a man's head coming out of it, he's going to. And why not? And in its own crazy, mad way, it works. It really works. Immediately you relax. It's a bit of a giggle. It's fun.
Medical prosthetics.
These have been for people who've had bits chopped off, blown off, rotted, diseased, removed. So are these paper mache? Are they tin? What are
tin.
21 million people were wounded in World War I, but the limitations of plastic surgery meant that custom-designed lightweight metallic masks like these were made to cover severe facial disfigurements. This early 20th century collection could have a value of around £700.
They are a little bit macabre. They're very collectible. They can be pretty valuable as well in their original mounts. So do you frame them?
Yes.
Okay. They're lovely. I don't suppose they're for sale, are they?
No, those ones aren't for sale.
Okay. Really?
Well, I just think they're so interesting.
They're so
Every
interesting.
time I look at them,
They're so interesting.
I just think it's
As
fascinating.
much as I'd enjoy buying them. So they're going to stay here. And they look great in the pub as well. And I want to be able to come back in this pub. I don't want to annoy him. So do you have a background in the antiques world or not?
None at all. Nothing about it all. It's only what I like.
I do like that. I'm just hoping you've got more of them. Papier mâché. They'd have had these.
Imagine there's another one over there.
Can I get this one down?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love them. They're really nice and gruesome, aren't they? Can you bring that down to you? Trying to think what I can get out of them now. So we've just got the two.
I may have another one upstairs.
These early 20th century French papier-mâché carcasses would have been part of a butcher's window display, alongside faux hams and other pretend meats. Prior to refrigeration, it gave the butcher worth around £700.
What I like about them is the sort of slightly grotesque nature of them. The opening of the hollow where you seal the ribs in the inside of the animal. And actually, I think they're quite beautiful. These things could easily end up back in a butcher's shop. Wouldn't it be great to see them going back to where they're intended? So what would you want for them?
I think these came to me at £120 each.
Okay. So if I give you 360, that sees you a nice little bit of profit.
360 for that's each, is it?
No, that's for that pair.
That pair.
Mm.
Drew Pritchard is at a whimsical pub crammed full of curiosities and antiques in Winchester, century papier-mâché carcasses, and he's hoping to haggle them away from landlord David.
I think these came to me at £120 each.
So if I give you 360, that sees you a nice little bit of profit.
360 for that's each, is it?
No, that's for that pair.
That pair.
Mm. So I'm going in at, 180 each?
Can I just see if I've got one more?
Yeah.
Because if I've got one more, I'll do that, and then I've still got one that I can hang. There is the third one. This is probably
that's the better one,
best
isn't it?
example.
Yeah, and it's got its leg.
Well, I love the fix as well.
Yeah, nice period repair.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, I'm going to try and pick that one.
That one, that's fine. Yeah.
You sure with that?
Yeah.
360 for the pair,
Yeah.
and you get to keep one in a pub.
There we go.
And we're buying French. Crackling start.
Having worked his way through the pub, Drew heads to David's storage shed, full of items he's run out of room to display.
I hate leaving a pub.
What, remembering leaving a pub, you mean? Have a nose around.
Okay.
The wine, sadly, isn't antique wine. Nice urn.
Where's the urn?
Clock from Woolworths in Guildford.
Oh, that might be of interest. If I get in there...
If I do you want me to go
Do you
in
want...
and hand it to
Actually,
you?
you're slimmer than me now.
I am.
Oh, it's not that heavy.
Chuck it on.
Can I hand that to you?
Yeah.
And it's rather nice, isn't it? It's a cracking nick. And by repute, it came from where?
Said in the auction.
It's a cracker.
The arrival of the railways in Britain led to a demand for accurate timekeeping. All main station and business clocks were set to Greenwich Mean Time, allowing trains to keep to their timetables and revolutionising travel and working hours across the country. This double-sided clock was produced by English Clock Systems in the early to mid-20th century and could have a value of around £800.
This is the factory paint. This has not been repainted. That is one you can see from the thickness of it, where you can see it on the joints there. It's never been apart, it's never been damaged. The inside is totally original. It's a staggeringly good little find. All right, what do you want for it? Do you know what you paid for it? So what
I know exactly what, £250. And then I'll take a loss on it.
Really? £250?
£250, that's fine. Yeah.
Really?
There you go, yeah.
Thank you very much. Didn't have to do that, but I'll
No,
take it.
that's fine.
I'll take it all day long. Price-wise, £250. I was going to go in at £450. So when David said he wants rid of it, I'm your man. I'll take it.
That's about it.
That's all right. Some dead pigs and a massive clock. Today was fantastic. I combined two of my great loves. Lovely old pubs and antiques. It's a fair old trek from Wales down to Hampshire, but what we bought I'm happy with. If we turned around and drove home now, there is enough profit in that to make it pay. The only thing that won't make it pay is if me and T stay in here any longer.
I like chatting to Drew and T. I learned quite a lot from what he was saying. Well, I didn't get nearly enough. Apart from that, it was fine. No, I'm very happy. Everyone, in a deal, both parties have got to be happy with it. So I think we've all done well on it.
David, pleasure.
Thank you very much indeed. Really enjoyable. T, really nice to meet you. Thanks a lot.
I really hate leaving this pub. It's horrible. Let me go. Go on, out.
Well, you can always stay a little bit longer. You can get some of your money back.
After a good night's sleep, the boys are making the most of their trip to Hampshire by dropping in at a country manor, the entire contents of which are for sale.
We're off to meet a guy called Peter Joyce. Okay. So it's deceased estate. So we're getting called in for valuation and sales. But this one has got something extra. Peter's father was a demolition contractor. So demolition contractors is where a large majority of my stock can come from.
So we've got very high hopes for today.
Very high hopes for today. We could have quantity and quality.
Just outside of Southampton, Grade 2 listed Baddesley Manor dates back to the Domesday Book of 1086. Owned by the Joyce family, it was bought by Peter's father in the 1980s.
My father was born on the west coast of Ireland, came over here in the 1940s, became a demolition contractor. Used to knock down churches, office buildings, schools, sites he tended to keep. And one of the attractions for this place was he had lots of outbuildings and a yard to keep all his rubbish in, and it's still there now.
It's these outbuildings that Drew will have a chance to rummage through today.
Now my parents are no longer with us. It's my responsibility to clear the building or try and find uses for the things that he always said would come in useful. But it may be that somebody else might have to find a use for some of the items that he's got in here.
Peter.
Drew.
How you doing? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What a pad.
Thank you.
Wow. Amazing. Lovely old house.
That's the man himself in that photo. He's the one on the right.
Well, demolition contractors are people I've dealt with my entire career. When you get a good one who doesn't just drop the building, who will piece it apart.
Yeah, that was Dad. He would go in and take everything out he could. His motto was, that will come in useful one day. And years of that will come in useful one day, and now filling up the sheds.
Really?
Yes.
That sounds very, very interesting. Everything inside a building has got a value. Floorboards, radiators, stair post, newel post, you name it. It's all got a value. And it was big business. My expectations today are high. If this house has been owned by a demolition contractor, I reckon he's put stuff away.
Although the main house was destroyed by fire and rebuilt in the 1790s,
Killer. Wow. How old's this?
It's very old. It's Grade 2 listed.
Oh, wow, there you go. Look at this lot. Gold dust.
Gold dust, it's just old wood, isn't it?
Nope. This is old floorboards and wall panelling. This is your money right here.
Really?
You've got some lovely big lumps of timber here. I've walked into the barn and, to be honest, I can't believe my eyes. He's got a huge collection. It's better than most little salvage yards in there. Old flooring. It is very hard to get, and old panelling. But the size of them, he's kept them all there because they're huge, big, long lengths, and you can't get those. Your dad did the right thing. He knew what to
Clearly, yeah.
He knew exactly what to shove away.
He knew what to keep.
All the doors again. This is this is an. Don't talk about tea like that. Oh, look at this lot. Tea.
Yeah. Iron railings. We've got loads of them.
You've just done very well. You've got good salvage here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, more plank. That's oak.
Really? How can you tell from that distance?
I don't know anything else about anything else. I know about this, and that's about it. I know about this curry and lager and old cars, and that's about it.
All the important things.
Yeah. Look at that. Architraving there. Look at huge big things, two of them. Massive big bits. That's 18th century. Amazing. Amazing. We killed for that a few years ago. What Peter has here in the outbuildings is the makings of a very good small salvage yard. But it's not for me now. It's not what I want to do now, even though I have a great love. But what there is as well is a huge amount of work.
Once a big part of his business, Drew's moved on from the more practical architectural salvage he once sold. His customers come to him for the beautiful decorative items he finds, and that's just what he's on the hunt for as he heads to the estate's old stables.
Wow, that's a room, isn't it? Look at this. I can start to see bits now that have come out of demolition jobs everywhere. You've got some nice marble chimney pieces there. Edwardian, lightly veined Carrara marble. Another pew. She's clearly done a church as well.
More fireplaces.
Ah, that's nice. In fact, all of that's nice.
Yeah.
This type had two uses. They went over the top of a cast iron fireplace, or they were on the top of sink units. Would look great in a private bathroom. You know, a his and hers double sink.
Mirrored glass was originally so expensive that it wasn't until the 18th century that the mirror began replacing paintings and tapestries as home decoration. These 19th century overmantel mirrors could have a value of around £300 each.
The real gem of the piece is this.
Yeah.
That's lovely. Lovely bit of quality. There also is something else here that I really like, and it's a fireplace insert. So it's a tiled insert, and the tiles are the most interesting bit of it. Just scream English country house to me, because there was a fashion for having this Moorish design, this arabesque design, in classic English country house piece.
In the Victorian era, the fireplace was the heart of the domestic interior. This 1890s insert has angled, tiled cheeks, reflecting more heat into the room, but also offering an opportunity to show off the latest interior design fashions. In this case, an arabesque influence. In restored condition, it could have a value of around £700.
The only bits that I want are those three, I think. That one, and that one.
Okay, yeah.
So if we say... £450 the three.
Drew Pritchard's father.
What a pad.
Thank you.
Wow.
Drew's uncovered two Victorian mirrors and a fireplace insert, and is hoping to get these demolition finds at a knockdown price.
So if we say... £450 the three.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
I'm happy with that. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's nice though, isn't it? Very, very pretty. Very pretty. For somebody building... It's an architectural piece, but just a really nice one.
Pleased with his finds, Drew stumbles across another of his great loves.
So as well as a salvage graveyard, it's a bit of a car graveyard as well.
Yeah.
And then Dad drove it for a while. And then when he couldn't drive anymore, he just left it there, and it's literally gathering moss.
There you go. Yep, Rover V8. These are great cars, and they're appreciating, actually.
Yeah,
But this one has seen better days.
much better days.
Much better days. It's got all the toys, all the bells and the smells. This would have been,
Yeah.
This would have been a top thing in its day. It's a resto project, I think.
Yeah.
Just too... I'm tempted by it. One lady owner, 81,000 miles from new. But it's got a bit of mould on it. And a bit of rust, and it hasn't run in 7 years. What I like about these Range Rover stick, this was the first real, proper, luxury off-roader. You might need to sit down. The value of these is going through the roof. The perfect ones are changing hands at anything from high 20,000s up to the 40,000s.
The Range Rover was designed by Charles Spencer King for the Rover Car Company. Launched in 1970, the Louvre Museum in Paris exhibited it as an exemplary work of industrial design.
Iconic shape.
The Queen drove one at the time, didn't she?
Yeah, they were the car to have, but now they've got a bit of a following.
Yeah.
Mostly by the AA, is it, sir? It's going to break down in a minute.
Yeah.
Do I need this in my life?
You do.
Handsome, though, isn't it? Give you a couple £100 for it.
Really?
It's worth more. But
Okay.
it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
That is a pain in the bum. I bought it for what it's really worth about now. Nothing. Right? But if I spend 3,000 to 4,000 on it, it's worth 6,000 to 7,000. That's a no-brainer. Once this is back in Wales, they'll go, "Ooh, oh, what you've done that for? What a load of old rubbish!" And then once again, I'll prove myself right. That will make money all day long, easily, and that's what I'm here to do.
It was great. The visit from Drew and T was very interesting. Very interested to hear what he had to say about all the salvage that my father had collected over. It was good. It was excellent.
I've never been to the home of any demolition contractor that I've dealt with. So it was interesting. I knew we were in for a treat. There was bound to be stuff here. What I didn't expect to buy today was a Range Rover. But it's got that much left in it that it's worth a go.
The Range Rover. It'll be a little bit sad to see it go, but pleased to see the back of it.
Do we load it up, the whole lot then?
Yeah.
What about that?
Yeah, I was going to
You're
just
not putting it in?
tie it to the back of the van. Fine one.
Hey, you're driving it.
So you bought a wrecked Range Rover?
No. I have bought a top-of-the-range 3.9 EFI in Ardennes green with one owner from new and 80,000 miles on the clock with all the extras for £200.
It's not.
That's kidding, aren't you? She'll never know about that.
How are you going to hide it?
I'll put it around the back. She's never known about that car.
In Conway, the boys unload their goodies from their Hampshire expedition. But will Drew come clean about all his purchases? First off are the items from the Black Boy pub.
David, the owner, had just filled it full of anything that he wanted to.
Pig? No.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, these were...
Larry won't like that. She's vegetarian.
These were
Oh, and another
French.
one. We'll stick them on the butcher's book. I haven't photographed yet.
French, late 19th century,
Cool, aren't they?
papier-mâché, and these would have been hanging in butchers' windows. Paid...
What's that?
Sausages. Sausages.
Interesting. And this is particularly good. Look at the condition. Unrestored, original, first paint. It's not been overpainted.
Oh, double-sided. That's brilliant. What did you pay for it?
£250.
Actually, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's very good.
I was over the moon.
Next are Drew's buys from Baddesley Manor.
I don't buy a lot of architectural stuff
No,
anymore.
not at all.
But
Must be
this,
special.
It's very
this is
heavy.
why you'll see why.
Oh, that's decorative, isn't
Isn't
it?
that lovely?
Oh,
It's very pretty.
the business has slowly drifted away from true architectural salvage. I mean, we used to sell floorboards and fireplaces, garden gates, but this fireplace is very special. I mean, you can't say no to that. The colours are amazing on those tiles.
Just two of those.
2. Matching.
Matching.
Wow.
If I can balance that. I'm not going to... No, don't. Oh, yeah, and bought a Range Rover.
A toy one, I hope.
No, bought a real Range Rover.
Right.
And it was 200 quid.
A toy one?
No, a real one. It's covered in moss like that all over it.
Right. Is it absolutely knackered?
No.
No?
It's
Really?
been looked after, yeah. Until they
I'm
put
not
it out.
listening to Drew.
No, until they
Is
put it outside, it was
Really?
Interior's immaculate, all the bits, everything's there. Green. Ardenese green.
Not moss green.
It is moss green.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
fits. No, I bought it to sell it. Nothing more than that. I don't want to drive it.
Definitely not.
Definitely don't want to ride it. I bought it to
You
sell
hear
it.
that?
I did.
He is adamant that he's just going to put it on the website and is going to sell it. Because I've heard this in the past and it never happens.
Needing to get back in Rebecca's good books and hoping to lay their hands on some profitable salvage, Drew and T are en route to Suffolk and the town of Beccles, situated on the southern edge of the Broads National Park. Today's trip is a bit of a long shot, as he's come to see a business that's not his usual taste. But it's always worth investigating a potential new dealer.
We're going to see Simon and Danielle, and they've got a business here called Vintage Mischief. Okay. Sounds like fun.
Up to no good, obviously.
Up to no good. This whole vintage thing, though,
Yeah.
it just gives some people carte blanche to just buy a load of old pony and trap.
In the world of antiques, objects less than 100 years old are known as vintage, and it's an area that's grown in popularity over recent years. Danielle Spellman and Simon Leake decided to join this flourishing market 4 years ago, turning this old dairy into a boutique, selling vintage furniture, collectibles and clothing.
I did an art and design degree and specialised in ceramics.
I was catapulted into the West End theatre world. It sounds a little more glamorous than it actually was. I marketed for Andrew Lloyd Webber's really useful theatre group. But the one thing it did teach me was to do my best to create spectacle.
The couple have channeled their creative energies into their shop, with
Clean lines, which is why we're slightly geared towards mid-century. But then the quirky and the unusual is what keeps you alive and really interested.
Mid-century stuff's good, and it can be good, but it's got to be the best quality or just really cool. It looks good. Yeah, good stuff. See bits here that I fancy already.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hi, Simon.
Simon, Drew.
Hi, Drew. Hi.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Right. This looks brilliant. Have you guys got a background in design of some sort?
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody has, haven't they?
Art and design, yeah.
Art and design.
I was working as a ceramicist.
Well, it
That's
looks
what we
great,
did.
doesn't it?
Furniture underneath the ceramics. But,
See, that's great, isn't it?
it's a beauty. It's
Yeah.
Jasper, West German, yeah.
West German. Really like it. It's fab, isn't it? What sort of money does something like that command?
Well, we usually retail these at about 165, 175.
It's really Bible then.
Yeah. So, because for the right setting, you know,
Yeah.
we have to do that here a little bit. We keep our prices pretty keen so that we satisfy the footfall.
A lot of these vintage shops, they just get things that are unfashionable at the moment and old and throw them together. Now, anybody can do that. But what you do is you look for the things that mean something, that had good design behind them. And as soon as you walk in here, good design is behind all of it. There's thousands of shops like this around the country. There's very few with some talent. That's funky. I like this stand. Can I get them?
It's useful little things for us periodically.
Yeah.
Just to sell?
And to help create spectacle. You know, so
Certainly does that. The look of your shop is fantastic. The first thing that I spot is a small alloy cast bronze and brass tabletop sculptor's stand. Age-wise, I think we're looking at the late 50s into the early 60s. The engineering looks a lot older than that, but then the cast alloy and the type of font used on the name cast onto the little tripod leg looks around that age.
This rotating tabletop sculptor's stand would have most likely been used for wet clay sculptures or pottery, as the bronze is highly resistant to corrosion. Needing little restoration, it could have a value of around £200.
I think I'd be happy at sort of 80 quid, really.
We squeeze 100.
No, should we meet in the middle? £90? Yeah?
Yeah, go on. Yeah,
Thank you.
Great. Excellent.
Well, I noticed you've got lots and lots and lots of different buildings. Can you show us around?
I'll lead on.
Wow! Another whole different look again.
Yeah, well, this is thanks to Danielle, really.
Guys, this is really good. Christmas jumper.
Yeah, that's it. And then, some of the 90s ones are really big at the moment.
My God. Oof. They'd make any weatherman blush, those jumpers. They're absolutely... I can't say terrible, because they're probably really fashionable now, but, not with me. But right next to them is a German medical trolley. Is that for sale, guys? Oh, it is.
It is, yeah.
£55? 1950s German medical table.
This 1950s tubular metal medical table with swing-out glass bowls was most likely used in a hospital for instruments or dressings. In restored condition, it could have a value of around £300.
Usually these things have been left outside, they've been overpainted, they're missing their parts. And this one is exactly how it left the factory. It makes a superb drinks trolley. That's generally what they're used for. Again, it can go into retail. It's going to go privately. Corner your room, put your cocktails on it, put your Advocat for Christmas on it, or whatever, your sherry. Veals. One's the veals. £55. That, thank you. The only other thing I noticed as well was that lamp up there. Is that display or is that for sale?
Mac lamp.
Little Mac. Yeah, that can be
Yeah.
done. Yeah.
That's my mum's.
Was.
What?
Yeah. She doesn't know it's in here.
No.
The Mac lamp was designed by Terence Conran for his home furnishing store Habitat. The shop was a revolution for post-war British families and introduced some household classics like the duvet and the wok to the UK. Today, in restored condition, a Mac lamp could have a value of around £150.
Mac lamps. They're just coming into their own, I think. There's loads of them around. They're not of huge value, but they've got enough design about them to be interesting now. And they're very cheap at the moment. Conran sharp handles, in a very clever way, making the items extremely accessible to everybody. £70. I'm going to have to ask you for a price on that one.
Antique salvage expert Drew Pritchard is in retro heaven at a 20th century vintage boutique.
Wow!
It's
This is great. Guys, this is really good.
He's spotted a lamp designed by Terence Conran, and he's hoping to do a deal with creative couple Danielle and Simon.
£70. I'm going to have to ask you for a price on that one. Or is it your mum? That's...
It is my mum's. But I'm sure she would do 50 on that. Maybe upstairs?
yeah, I think
Might we go and have a look at those, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, look at the floor. Oh, here's the other one, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, it's got the base. Is that the same price? What have we got on that one?
Yeah, do the same.
Oh, it's 45 quid, this one.
Slip through,
Sorry.
slip through the,
That slipped through the net. Tell you what, I'll give you the 40. I'll give you a ticket price.
That's
Is that all right?
Yeah,
Is that all right? Deal. Thank you.
Super job.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I like that a lot. So Elsa had spotted and walked in was that desk there. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, it's beautiful. It came from France, 1950s.
Is it too basic?
It's very basic.
That's why I like it.
That's why I like
That's why I like it.
yeah.
Yeah. And sort of green. Think about that one, but yes to that.
Brilliant.
Okay. So I paid too much for the other one.
Well, the other one's gold. That's
Is that the best?
With 4 vintage sales agreed, Drew wants one final look at something he saw earlier.
These are the bits I spotted before that I like the look of, with these pair of the gym racks there. As soon as I walk in, the first thing I spot is a pair of large mesh cages from a school gym. But these are better than the norm. They're in a angled steel and galvanised frame, and the whole thing has got a very good colour to it. And the best thing, as usual, it's a pair. Perfect retail. In a very small space in a shop, you can display hundreds of items.
These 1960s or 70s school PE storage racks were £450 each.
250 quid. Is that for the pair?
Unfortunately not. I could see those at it. I could do 200 each.
4. I'd be really happy at 350.
We've already been offered 200 each on them, and we held back because it was offered right at the beginning when we just got
So
them.
I'm going to mess your display up big time as well.
Yeah.
So I have to factor in another...
I'm thinking I'm going to have to pay for you to tidy up the display.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. That's fair enough. Sort those out for me.
No problem.
We'll be back later.
No problem, of course.
Today was really good. I think the best thing about today was seeing somebody with a fresh pair of eyes, a different perspective, doing it well. The mixture of ceramics and the artistry in the way they've done certain things in here and laid them out, and the mix sets them apart. So I really hope it works out for these guys.
Fantastic. Yeah, we've had a great day.
Yeah, it was great. I think hopefully during tea had fun, found a few bits for themselves, and learnt a little bit as well, bits of advice, so which has been great, so much appreciated.
The team
Hello.
Right, we've been as far east as you can get in Suffolk to see Vintage Mischief, and they're good. We were able to buy some decent bits and bobs actually. A bit for you, Carl. Mac lamps, £50 and £45 each. That's it, but I was really pleased with them. I think they're pretty stylish.
It was lovely to see the 2 little Conran desk lamps. It's amazing how all this is sort of coming back into people's lives. And even though it's mass-produced, there isn't a lot of it out there because people just bin it.
This is nice. This is just a sculptor's work stand for a table, but look at this, it's all phosphor bronze.
Wow. Yeah.
£90. I just thought it was beautiful.
It is. Good looking.
Okay.
Bring out glass things, 55 quid.
How much?
55 quid. Lads, I need a hand now. These are great. Schooled gym shelving.
Yeah.
John, 200 quid each. They're ready to go.
That's similar.
I think they'll easily double their money. But they're great, aren't they? Yeah, so that was it, really. We didn't spend a lot of money, but it's a lot of profit in what we bought.
Carl takes the Mac lamps to his workshop, where he has a novel way to deal with the dents.
It just softens the ends of the hammer.
He replaces the cable, and the lamps are ready to be photographed for the website.
Right, behave yourselves, no kissing and canoodling. Okay?
Popular with the public, with the PE shells going to a customer in Germany, and the tabletop stand selling to a private buyer in London. The papier-mâché carcasses from the Black Boy pub sell to a restaurant owner, and Drew's new wheels arrive at HQ.
Has it had a wash?
Yes.
What did it look like before you got it?
The whole vehicle was that colour.
Really? That's beyond patina.
Yes.
It doesn't smell. Enzo's bed smells worse than this. I really thought he'd come back and you'd have to wheel it in a wheelbarrow. It's all right. And I've got a horrible feeling at the end Drew's just going to go, I told you so.